Well, good afternoon. It's been like 2 weeks since I've done one of these videos, and for good reason, a lot of good reasons. But I've missed doing them, and I've missed getting to talk to you guys and hearing your feedback. And I got really well reminded of that this last weekend, actually just yesterday at Drift event, when somebody was telling me, some things about my videos that I didn't even realize that people pick up on, and it just meant the world to me to hear. And I realized I got to get back to doing this because it actually gives me a lot of fulfillment in doing it. And this last 2 weeks has been a bit of an insane roller coaster, and in actually very good ways. But you always have those moments where you don't know what's around the next corner, or when the next drop off is going to be, or what's going to happen. And I really had all my attention on just making sure that I let things unfold the way they need to unfold, and surrounding myself with the right people, and making sure that when change happens, you want to come out and make the right pivot and make right decisions. So today, though, I really wanted to talk about meaning and what the meaning of things are, because this is something that's tripped me up so much. It's made my life either a disaster or great, and it's really actually just the meaning that I would assign to things. Somebody could say to me, that shirt looks tight, something silly like that, right? Some small thing, and I could perceive that in so many different ways. I can perceive it as they're telling me my clothes don't fit me, or they're telling me that I look slim, or it could be one of a million things. And what really actually I found is that the meaning we give to things is very dependent on the state that we're actually in. So when somebody tells you something, it might be a compliment, it might be an insult, but you don't know what's going on inside their head, right? You don't know why people say what they say. You don't know why people do what they do. And the more I learned how to realize that was true, I realized that when people would say things to me that might at first upset me, that me getting upset did two things. One, it gave them control over my emotions. And giving away control over how you feel to somebody else and what they have to say is like, it's insanity. Like, why would you give control of how you feel to somebody else? Why is that in their hands? Why would you let their words actually get you riled up and emotional? So one, it really gave me that realization that how I feel about things is totally up to me, and what meaning I assign to them is totally up to me. Also, what it made me realize, the second thing, was that my reaction to what other people would say was entirely dependent on my emotions, and it was a reflection of how I was feeling inside and who I was being. If I was feeling confident, people could say the most insulting thing to me, and it would just kind of brush off from me. Maybe I would even take it as a compliment. Coming from New York, if you know people in New York, it's funny because you call somebody in New York an asshole, a lot of times they'll turn to you and be like, "Thank you." And it's something that's inherent inside of us, right? So what ends up happening is when you have somebody say something to you, it's totally a reflection on what's going on inside you of how you're going to react or respond to it. So don't assign meanings to why people said what they've done. I mean, we live on this beautiful, gorgeous, giant rock. I mean, this is my view, right? This is my backyard here, and my side yard, and my house, and my pool, and my chickens, and I'm so grateful to be on this amazing planet. But it's crazy out there. It is entirely crazy. There's a lot of crazy people out there. Everybody's got so much going on in their heads, myself included, and so many stories that we tell ourselves, and we give meaning to things that don't deserve meaning. So if you're going to give meaning to why somebody said something, try to choose something that actually empowers you and makes you feel better about things. And if what they're saying to you, you can't find that, then just recognize that really what they're saying is what's going on inside of them. And they're going through their own crazy shit. And that's just the way it works, because we all experience that. So I hope that helps you a little bit. You know, I didn't even realize when I started this and this topic that this is coming like right on the heels of a presidential debate and some questionable things that were said by one of the candidates. And so many people are getting emotionally crazy about it. And I don't, you know, approve or think what was said was good in any way. But honestly, like, if you're letting yourself get upset about that, what somebody else said 11 years ago, like, why? Why? You could spend all your time, like, focusing on the things that you want to accomplish and do. What some random jerk said so long ago, why even let it bother you? And that's kind of the state, this perpetual anxiety that we've come to it's an epidemic in society. We talk about cancer and we talk about, you know, disease and illness and pollution and climate change and all this stuff. But we don't even talk about these things that are going on in our own heads and how sensitive we become to everything outside of us instead of actually looking at what's going on inside of us and making our own changes for ourselves. And we get controlled, we become victims, and we become stuck in these patterns. So it happens to every one of us. It happens at different points for each one of us. But the cool thing is, if you're armed with this knowledge and you remember this, then you know that you're in control and that you don't have to let what anybody else said matter. It doesn't matter. It's what somebody else said. It's not what you said, what you believe, how you feel. It's what somebody else's own bullshit, what's going on with them. So I hope that helps you. Think about the meanings you assign to things. When somebody says something, if it upsets you, first and foremost, be like, what state of emotion am I in? So these are some takeaways I'll give you. If somebody says something that upsets me, first thing I'll do is I'll look and say, well, how am I feeling inside? How was I feeling inside before they said this to me? And that lets me kind of see what state of mind I'm in. And then I think, well, what are all the other possible things they can mean? And I realize that there's a endless, infinite, literally infinite list of things they could have mean. And yeah, I could maybe know what they mean, but you never really know, right? So at the end of the day, I look at that list and I'm like, wow, this could mean so many things. Well, which one of these things could serve me, empower me, make me feel better? And if you go with that strategy, it makes it so much easier to deal with people that are kind of out in crazy land. So hope you had a great afternoon. I'm going to try to do more of these videos every day if I can get the time to do it. I got to get off to karate. So thank you for tuning in. Please give me any feedback on, you know, your thoughts on this and how I can help to spread the word and spread the love. Hope to see you at the Raceway this weekend. If you want to come by, I'll be there both nights and maybe racing, but Saturday night's going to be crazy, so leave the kids at home. All right, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.